Hey guys, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty for another episode of the Top and Bottom Comics of the Month, where I take time and I read them, read the ones I want to anyway, and then give you my opinions. So I hope you enjoy the show. All right, so we are October 11th, 2022's comic books, and I have my top and bottom three, yeah, and the ones in between, I might add. And this week, I read a lot. I read 14 comic books, so if I missed something you think I should have read, let me know, and, you know, I'll try to get to it if I can, but there's only so many dollars and so many hours in the day. So with that said, I'm going to first today start with my top three. Because this is going to be a bit of a long one, so I want to make sure you get, you get my opinion and get these if you think. Now, this week was a strong week, I might add. I really did. I thought this was a very strong week for comic books, so I was very, very happy, especially when I read 14 of them, because when they're bad and there's 14 of them, whoa, that could be rough. So anyway, starting with my top three, my number three was Young Justice Target's number 5. I gave this an 8.1 out of 10. You're going to hear my papers rattle so I can get to my notes. This is, I find the art really good in this series. Solid art like the cartoon. It really matches it. It holds that thought in my head when I read it. It's almost like I'm watching the cartoon. I really liked it. Great characters in this story. And I really think you should be getting this mini-series. I think this is showing what comics could be and should be. And I'm really enjoying this issue. Once again, an 8.1 out of 10 for Young Justice number 5. My number 2 pick was the Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries number 1 of 12. Yeah, Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries number 1 of 12. I gave this an 8.3 out of 10. Boy, is this so much better looking and fun than the crappy cartoon series we're going to be getting soon. That just doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't even have Scooby-Doo in the name. Let's be honest, it's Scooby-Doo in name only, and they're just butchering everything to twist to a narrative. Why would you take a franchise that's been running that long, and I mean, I understand artisticness and things, but this isn't Scooby-Doo. This issue is amazing. It's a fun story with the campy Scooby-Doo spin, especially the extra camp you get when they meet up with other characters. And this is, it's just great seeing Batman and Velma, their minds working together. It's a really fitting art style for this issue as well. And I took time. My little girl loves Scooby-Doo. And she's got the whole Scooby Gang in toys and loves the books. My little girl really liked this issue because I got to sit down with her and read it, and she absolutely loved it. Once again, that's an 8.3 out of 10. Definitely think you should be checking out Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries, and we'll see how that cartoon tanks, and maybe they'll learn a lesson. All right, my number 1 was Daredevil number 4, which I gave an 8.4 out of 10. Once again, that's Daredevil number 4. Let me get to my notes here. I have to be honest, I did not expect to see Doc Samson in this issue as well. I usually figure Doc Samson, I figure Hulk stuff or Hulk tie-ins. And the art was really fitting for this issue as well. And I really appreciate seeing, because you don't see this much in comics anymore, the inner dialogue. But you were seeing that with Matt Murdock, that inner dialogue and the issue, the struggles that he has and that he's going through. And I really think that adds an element to this issue, an element of depth. It's a very well written issue, and honestly, I think this is a series that you should be picking up, especially if you're a Daredevil fan. But even if you're not, this is probably worth your time to go in and check out. I gave this one an 8.4 out of 10. All right, before I get to the bottom and the rest of the bin, if you will, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to these people here. Without these people, this channel would not be possible. They support the channel through Patreon and Subscribestar, and you can as well. And if you do, you get additional special perks, like special videos only to you, as well as background music you can use, or you can just listen to, or you can put it in your videos royalty-free. You don't have to worry about that. You have access to use those things. And keep that in mind, you're going to get some other stuff coming up too. The support of this channel really helps, because without you people, this would not be possible. I've been able to do a lot of product reviews, and I got a lot more coming too. So once again, thank you, everybody. Thank these people. They're amazing. And so are you for watching this. Okay, let's go to the bottom, and then we'll go to the rest of the batch. All right, so here we go. Let me get back to my notes here. The bottom, my number 3 on the bottom was Dark Crisis Green Arrow number 1. Once again, that's Dark Crisis Green Arrow number 1. Now, I'm going to say this was not terrible. Actually, I gave it a 7.05, and with my rating system, a 7 is average. Here, my paper's there. So this is still above average, and it's at the bottom. That tells you how good of a week for comics this was, in my opinion. And I thought that art was decent. It was a decent story, and it focuses on how Ollie and Dinah Lance are just a special couple. I can't speak today. There's something, that's one of the great comic book couples. They really are. They should be up there, held in high regard. But you know, even with all that said, it really, and that was sort of cute and nice. It was nothing super special. It was just okay, and that's why it fell in there. It wasn't anything bad, anything egregious, anything you should necessarily avoid. I was hoping for something better. It was nice in the writing. It was just, everything was okay. It just could have been a little better. So not bad at all. My number 2 was Venom number 11, which I gave a 7.01. Good art. Pretty solid art in this series so far as it continues, and the pacing is good too. But my major issue with this is it just seems that this story is so convoluted. It just doesn't feel like a Venom story to me. If you're reading Venom, I would love to have your take on it. Am I missing something? Do you like the spin on Venom that we've been having? For me, it just it doesn't do it for me. I'm more of a grassroots, ground level Venom kind of guy, but that's me. What are your thoughts on Venom number 11? I'd love to hear. And my number 1 of the bottom was BATGIRLS number 11. You know, even being at the bottom, this got a 7 out of 10. Believe it or not, this issue features characters from, you ready? Clear my throat to get this ready here. Got to clear my throat and get everything ready, so we got it. Here we go. This particular issue has characters from Gotham Academy! But the thing is, no one cares! I mean, does anybody really give a crap about Gotham Academy? Maybe you do. I just offended you. I'm sorry. Not really. But you can let me know your thoughts. Did you care about any of these characters from Gotham Academy? Now, I'm not saying they're bad characters. I just didn't care about Gotham Academy. And the art, I will say, in this issue seems better than normal, though. I think the art was a step up. So, not a bad thing. And to be honest, it's a decent story. It just falls into the nothing special category. A 7 out of 10 really isn't that bad for the bottom of the week. So, that's pretty darn good. So, once again, BATGIRLS number 11, 7 out of 10. So, now I'm going to go through all the ones that we had in between. So here we go. My first ones in between was Batman vs. Robin number 2. I gave it a 7.1 out of 10. You know, the art's a mixed bag in this. And some of the panels, the art was way off. Like Batman looked fat. And so it looked a little amateurish, if you will. And sadly, I think this could break some hearts. Bringing Alfred back seems like a mean tease in this issue. When you read it, you get through it, and then that's where it hits. It's like, yeah, I figured. And maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like a mean tease because we like Alfred. I don't think anybody dislikes Alfred. And it was a decent story. So it's a 7.1 out of 10 for Batman vs. Robin number 2. My next one was Future State Gotham number 18. This is the conclusion of the story. I gave this a 7.2 out of 10. So in this conclusion, you know, I'm not a big fan of the art style, but I like it. It works well enough, and I like how it went from black and white to color at the end of the story. I thought that was a nice little touch. And the second story in this was good, and the art was very cool in that second story. I really do. I dig the art in the second story. I gave this, once again, a 7.2 out of 10. And so let me go to my next page of my notes here. All right. Ready for this one? All Out Avengers number 2. I gave it a 7.15, so that's slightly above average. Once again, that's Avengers. All Out Avengers number 2. You know, it has more of the good old obvious land tracing here. Obviously traced, a lot of facial expressions that really didn't fit the situation well. You could tell it was just traced work. Oh well. You know, I like the She-Hulk in this issue, but once again, too, they keep portraying her as she's strong as the Hulk. They love to say that and sell that. She has never been as strong as the Hulk. Let me repeat that. She-Hulk is not as strong as the Hulk, and that's okay. She's still very strong, but she has other benefits too that the Hulk doesn't have. It's sort of maybe a trade-off, if you will. And so why they keep trying to push this narrative now that she's as strong as the Hulk, she's never been. And every issue in history would tell you, even Marvel in their own books and things that they've made with strength scales and things like that have never portrayed her as strong as Bruce Banner Hulk. So pretty misleading. Stop doing that. But it was a decent story, so 7.15. Next one was The Amazing Spider-Man number 11. Was it amazing? Well, you know what? I gave it a decent score. I gave it a 7.4. I expected a better cover, though. I'm going to be honest, this issue lost points because of the cover. That cover sucked. It was lame. But it was a solid story. And, you know, I really think they did an excellent job of how the Hobgoblin entrance into this issue. A really brutal entrance. And I'm digging that. And I'm intrigued. I'm interested in the story. So 7.4, once again, not a bad score. My next one was Iron Fist Judgment Day number 1. I gave it a 7.13 out of 10. Decent art at best. Solid story. And I like having Loki in it. I think it's an interesting coupling there that we haven't seen. So maybe that's why, it's just because it was different. But, you know, as much as I enjoyed this, and I think this is a good character, don't get me wrong, I still want Danny Rand back as Iron Fist. I'm sorry, good character and all, but Danny is my Iron Fist. I want Danny Rand back as Iron Fist. Come on now. Let's do that. We'll see what happens. I don't see it happening anytime soon because you know how Marvel is. All right, my next one was Punisher War Journal number 1. Boys, been a while since I read a Punisher War Journal. And I gave this issue a 7.16. This is a brutal issue. There is a lot of blood, a lot of brutality. I like it. Solid art. Very action-packed issue, and it has Jigsaw. You know, I always like it when Punisher fights Jigsaw. I do not think for a Punisher action fan this is a disappointing issue at all. This is a good one, 7.16. So here you have it. I read. Oh, wait a minute. I'm jumping the gun here. I'm not done yet. Next one, Captain Marvel number 42. Can you believe it? Captain Marvel's made it to issue 42 already? Wow, that's a pretty big jump for Captain Marvel. About time she's had some decent writing, and I think it's showing up here. This issue got a 7.17 out of 10. You know, I like the cover of this issue, too. It does make you want to read more. What the heck is going on there? Solid cover. Like it. And I think the art in the book is good, too. This is a good artist for this title. I think that artist does a very good job capturing these characters. And in this issue, Carol's pet, Chewie, gets judged by the Celestial, which is just cool. I'm sorry, but I like that. That was fun. This is pretty much a self-contained issue as well, even though it's sort of to the broader whole of what's going on in the Marvel Universe. It's still an issue you don't have to read to understand what's going on, but it was good. Yeah, I think if they keep this up with this series, it has legs. So let's keep this up. Let's keep up decent writing and good art, preferably. And this series has some potential. It's nice to see Carol Danvers portrayed in a decent way again. And let's see, the last one doesn't mean it was the least, though. Was Ghost Rider number 7. I gave that a 7.9. Yeah, a 7.9 out of 10. That is a darn high score. 7.9 out of 10. And think about that. 7.9 didn't hit the top 3. Woo! I tell you, the cover of this issue is cool. I really liked it. And there's some really good panels in this issue that just look really cool because we get Ghost Rider's shadow. And that thing is just wicked. And it's not like a casted shadow. It's Ghost Rider's shadow. You have to read it, I guess, to understand. But there's he looks cool, and definitely an interesting character I'm looking forward to seeing more of. And Ghost Rider gets a new partner in this issue, so it's going to be interesting. This is a solid issue, and it's been a solid series for all 7 issues. I think it's been pretty darn good, and if you're a Ghost Rider fan, you probably should be reading this if you're not. Well, there you have it, everybody. These are my top, my bottom, and all the ones in between. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, share your thoughts in below. I really could use all the help. That's some of the best ways you can help this channel is just like, subscribe, and leave a comment. That way it gets noticed, get pushed up the algorithm a little bit, because these aren't doing real well in the algorithm, but you know what? I still enjoy doing them anyway. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Until next time, keep it frugal.